victory without too much trouble.
Yeah, I'm actually just going to quickly run you through some of the results that Entropiq have had on Overpass. In this year alone, they've beaten Ecstatic and Astralis, and the Astralis victory was 16-13. Sure, Astralis aren't what they once were, but that is a superb result, and we're going to be going into the pistol round now on Overpass to see how this one plays out. Unfortunately, I've told you about Entropiq's form on this map, but when it comes to Into the Breach, they've played it twice in the past, and I'm afraid they're both losses against Link's Legacy and One Shot in a Cash Cup, so it's not looking too hard.
No, definitely not. But again, pick up this pistol, maybe even get the first gun round, and it may not matter what the stats were in the past. It matters what they're going to be at the end of this game after all of the action plays out, and that's what we're going to be waiting to see. Cypher's going to have a chance up on long. Remember, the pistols in the previous map were clean as hell in that initial one, at least out for Into the Breach. Unfortunately, despite a good start there from Cypher, they're not really going to be able to hang on to that A long position. Not initially, it's now a bomb site that's been overrun, and a perfect flash as Tadpole tried to charge his way forward onto Optimus, leaving Dobbo all alone now. And while he was one of the more impressive players in the previous map for them, a 1-on-3 here is a lot to ask.
Very much so, when he doesn't even have a defuse kit available to him as of yet either. It's not able to be picked up. And there's an even harder crossfire to get himself through. As soon as he had a duel with one, he was going to get picked by the second anyway. And Lucky takes the kill. Entropiq, always good for some tasty kills, and they all hit all the headshots there basically. Lucky finishes it off with 3. And Into the Breach now have a force buy to go, and they know exactly what they have against them in this map. If any map looked like it could be a run over when it came to paper statistics, this is this is the one, but you never know what can happen. We already saw a great showing, as we saw on Ancient, and honestly, I agree with you, Dean, that but for a couple of rounds where a boost could have worked, perhaps a flank could have worked, that one from Cypher and Jaguar was one that comes to mind. They could have easily taken it, but yeah, a little bit of pause coming in before we get started on this force buy coming in for Into the Breach. ITBisk, Cypher, Adam, Tadpole, and Dobbo. You might be hearing a bit more of these guys coming up this year, I would say, because they're most certainly an up-and-coming team, and you'll be seeing them in this league, of course, with this new setup we have, Dean, with the 4 groups.
Yeah, and I think in general they should definitely have a better time against the likes of Nemiga, who are dealing with their own changes, as our 1 win, although I think for 1 win they kind of solidified their roster a little bit more with the changes that they had. And Nemiga, it was less of a choice, I believe, with Fostar moving over to 1 win, of course, so there's the bit of drama there. I'm actually curious how that game is going, because remember, this isn't the only match that's currently going on. There is a B stream as well. We can give a bit of info, I suppose, on the other match while we have the pause here. And actually, the first map has gone the way of Nemiga, so that's going to be Nemiga saying to Fostar, "You made the wrong decision, bro."
Yeah, that's a remarkable win. A remarkable first map anyway from Nemiga. They'll be very confident about that one. 1 win have been sort of all over the place lately. They actually removed Polt and Ravenlot as well. Now they have Flamey in the ranks, of course. We all know about Flamey. And they have been not as strong as of yet with that team, current composition. So let's see how that goes for the future for them in this group, of course. But Entropiq have another map to win before they're declared victors of this one. It was a bit of a technical pause, I believe, for Entropiq and that little break we had there, but we're all fixed now. Dobbo is going to rotate up with his teammates. Lucky is taking control of long with Nickelback, and they're going to try and walk up mid right now. Banana through bathrooms with the 2 Mac-10s as well. Forrester has a Galil. Nothing, no information from the Mac-10s as of yet. I'm sure there will still be the players to run in first. Minute to go, and they're now pushing up ever so slightly.
Nice punish by Nickelback. Cypher wanted a bit of initiative. To be fair, that was what was working out for them back on Ancient, not being afraid and willing to take these early fights. Fortunately for now, they don't really have the weaponry that's required for these longer range ones anyway. Trying to get a bit of damage done on the MP9. Lucky's already ran into B, so that bomb's already going down anyway. Just really been a few of these players, pretty much all of them rather, being kept occupied up on this A bomb site by a couple of SMGs that are likely going to have a chance now to really start building up some banks, so we'll see what can be done. Not a good start, actually, as Crad goes down. And I think they'll have a better time punishing this initial player now coming around the corner. We'll have to see whether he can hang on to his life, because again, Tadpole still here on the Eagle, and he finds Nickelback.
Ooh.
Okay, that's an AK. I don't really think he'd do himself any good, rather, by moving towards the site, considering the bomb's pretty much gone. So it is only saving that he can go for, but they're going to bring over an AK. They've got Kevlar on all 3 players. There's a Scout and a Mac 10 in there as well. It gives them a relatively decent chance to, again, just try and get more damage in this next round, on top of what was a pretty good one here with 3 kills coming in.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I mean, to get an AK, keep an MP9 and keep a Scout as well, that's pretty perfect. And I'm pretty sure Tadpole will still have his Deagle. There's no reason why he won't after a round like that. So you can drop that to a teammate and keep the AK. I think Adam will feel a bit hard done by that he didn't get that kill because he pre-aimed that angle, but unfortunately, of course, it was pre-fire on pre-fire in that situation. This is a dangerous buy. Very dangerous, in fact. Adam's already been tagged down to 52, but Entropiq need to treat this as a gun round, basically.
It sounded like it was only like 2 ticks of the molly, but he still took a ton of damage.
Yeah.
A little bit unfortunate. One of the SMGs, one of the weapons that they have in play as well, but still up close and personal, they could certainly do some damage, and definitely the AK that we're mainly looking towards. And also ISK, in fairness, because if that Scout lands even a couple body shots, then those Deagles become very, very dangerous, as does the MP9. So you can definitely see how this round could come together. There is a few win conditions, I suppose, for Into the Breach, and Entropiq are not really looking to give anything away. They know there was enough saved over that it could be a bit of a threat to them. So they're taking their time. They're slowly just inching forward right now. And with that, they're taking control around the bathrooms to set themselves up, at least with the option of that A-bomb site if they want to. And I think that's all that they're really doing. They're selling out a little bit of a fake. They're going to start moving back down through connector. And it's worked perfectly. It's pulled at least 3 of those players out of position.
Yeah, and they're rotating up toward A as well. Dobbo. I mean, at least there's one sticking around. The Forester, surely. Oh, okay. Tadpole on the pillar gets absolutely destroyed. I thought maybe he could get one shot off and then maybe fall back toward water, but not to be. They're taking the site perfectly, and somehow, Dobbo will be saying the word how, I think, right now, after being tagged down to 12 HP behind that smoke. Good old classic. How has he almost killed me? And unfortunately, he now will be done and out of the round. Alien gets some more bonus cash for that future AWP as well. It's going to be 3-0 Entropiq, and they most certainly have Into the Breach's number at the moment. But we're going to have a buy round coming up, of course, to see if they can get a couple of opening picks and put some pressure on the Entropiq side. Of course, it's a nice, comfortable opener for Entropiq in their group, as we said earlier. And with the other 4 groups in this event now, not just the 2 groups like previous ESEA Premier seasons, it certainly makes this event all the more interesting, a different format. And I'm sure Entropiq are one of the favourites for the entire thing.
For sure. There's a few names in there. I mean, you've still got to look at the likes of, Copenhagen Flames, Heat now as well, formerly Double Pony. Good to see those boys finally get some support. They went an incredibly long time without an org behind them. Had the Double Pony branding pretty well known at that point. But yeah, I mean, 3-0 here for a solid start for Entropiq, as we kind of expected. Now we need to see this gun round be a turning point for Into the Breach, and they realize that they're actually going to take quite a bit of initiative. Adam going forward up against the bench here. They'll have some no support, actually. Sorry, he's the only man around the A-bomb site, even, I believe. They had ISK down towards B initially. He's going to rotate back up now, but Adam is in a position where he has to go big. Escape, and I don't know if it's much of an option, but no, he gets both kills. Manages to stay alive just about with AHP for himself. And as Dobbo finds Nickelback creeping in towards water now, it's going to be a 5-on-2. And well, even with that 1 kill back in favor, back towards Entropiq rather from Crad, it's still going to be very difficult to do anything. I was going to say, especially with that smoke down, should have allowed Dobbo to just fall back to safety, but no, now it's getting a bit dangerous.
Oh,
very dangerous.
Oh no. How on earth is Forrester just right-clicked a flashbang and pushed through a smoke and taken down Cypher? That is dirty. That's just a sort of a pug play, isn't it? That is not something you necessarily have to do. Yeah, exactly. They're better, plainly. And now this retake is very difficult indeed. There's no defuse kit for ISK or Adam. Adam was the star of Ancient, and he's already shown himself to be the star of this map with 2 very impactful frags toward mid. But this would be a 3v5 victory again for Entropiq. But there's a good pick, and now Crad has to go 1 versus 2. Gets the first and gets the second. Very easy. Bomb was not even planted for him, so he played it aggressively, exactly how it should be done. And the clean sheet remains intact for Entropiq.
Shouldn't have, though. I mean, it was 5-on-2. Crad is able to just charge through the smoke. I thought that one kill was just going to be an isolated incident, but
Yeah,
no, then you have
5v2,
the
sorry.
second player even run out of the monster as well. It's stupid that they lost that round. I don't know what else to say. As I mentioned, it was such a needed round as well. They get that. They're on track to potentially get something going here in the early stages of their CT side to try and get themselves into Overpass, which is a map that, as we said many times, statistically just shouldn't really be an easy one for them at all. So, yeah, I mean, they're making it, unfortunately, a bit harder now than it needs to be. M4,
Yeah.
P9, and a few pistols. They can maybe do some damage here, but it should be 5-0 for Entropiq.
Oh my goodness, that flash was unfortunate. I mean, technically, Cypher does get a flash assist, but one on his teammate and one on the enemy, so it's not as clean as it could have been. As I said as well, I said 5v3, but it was actually a 5v2 for Into the Breach in that previous round, and oh my goodness, Crad, he knows where to put his crosshair. Adam, gone, I'm afraid. See you next round, son. That is not going to feel good in the morning. This is pushing up a solo as well with the CZ, and he's just going to meet Nickelback's AK. Nothing you can do about that. Now it's Cypher with the recovered AK-47. All you can do is try and have a little bit of fun on this retake because they're buying next round anyway. He has made some noise rotating up. There is a smoke up on green bin, but I think everyone will be trained in on this angle. It would not surprise me. Crad's holding one. Elian's holding bank just in case. Nickelback will try and get the bomb planted, and actually he exits that smoke right at the correct time as the bomb was jumping toward the site. His headset is clearly a good one, but unfortunately, of course, it was being held by a teammate, so that's the way it is.
He's a good game manager at amplifies everything he has, everything we can. Not know that.
No, it's a little known myth. I'm just saying.
Ins as well, make it better. All true.
That has to be true. I'm telling you right now. I had some fun on a Smurf account playing with lower ranked friends, and I'm worse on my Smurf account. I swear to God, with no skins.
Probably just a bit of a mental thing at that point, I'd say. Bit of a mental play from Adam, though. I've got to say, he just charged forward in connector and completely caught Crad, who thought he could pretty calmly come down that ladder. Apparently not.
Yeah, he's caught off there quite significantly. So now we have a 5v3, and Into the Breach, will they learn from their mistakes? That's the question. I don't think there's going to be any pushes through smokes as of yet for Entropiq. They made a play and a half out of it in the previous round when they were in a big disadvantageous situation. But Adam's got a very nice off angle towards short. That's actually an angle I play myself, and usually to quite good effect unless some flashes come in. Thankfully, it's a dry push, and it will be a 5v2 now. Surely Entropiq can't repeat the same feat.
Without some big mistakes, I wouldn't imagine this time they haven't got any smokes to run through, and, well, taking straight up duels against two players, pretty much waiting for them at each point is not going to be easy. Only Elian left standing, and 30 seconds. May think about moving this back up towards the... well, he doesn't have the bomb, actually, never mind. He's just going to back away and save. Didn't even manage to clock that. He had 10.4k, so it wasn't really a necessity. I maybe would have preferred if he went for one more exit kill just to take that third player out and to force it into a position where there might even be a weaker weapon left in the hands of Into the Breach in this next round. But I guess he was playing a bit of a balancing game of not potentially giving them a second off as well.
For sure. Yeah, that is a critical factor of it, because Overpass is probably one of the best maps in the pool to go double up on CT side. Just so many places on the map where it's perfect. And, they did well get off the board though Into the Breach. That's a nice clean up on that round, and they survived with 3 players alive as well, so that's good enough to keep their economy intact. If it was 2, it would be a bit rough, but 3 being the majority is enough. But of course, Entropiq have a lot of money built up, and Elian's still on 10k. Actually, that's the biggest disparity I've seen in quite a long time, actually. Elian being on 10k, with the next highest, 2.05 on Nickelback. Pretty remarkable.
A little bit of a slower one so far. They're going to put the smoke down before they push through, and Isk just lines them up, just calmly waiting on the angle. Lackey and Nickelback, they line themselves up perfectly for him, and, well, Elian actually will get a chance to recover a small bit. Isk was feeling the confidence after landing that collateral, and fortunately it does come back to bite him, but still, they do have a man advantage. Forrester feeling the pressure as well, wants to see if he can pull anything back from the push on Monster. Won't really be able to do anything, but he does at least rather confirm the position of that player in towards barrels. I think they might want to give a boost a go.
Yeah, might be the way back into this round, getting a cheeky pick. There is actually a player. Oh, they made noise and they're looking for it. Yeah, Dubbo, perfect crosshair placement, easy counter. And when you make some noise, it can be an easy shot to hit in the end because you know exactly where that boost is coming in. And with a 2v4 now, 35 seconds to go. We saw a save in the previous round. I get the impression with Alien on 10.1k, as I mentioned before, they might want to try and get some loss bonus. I think that's what they're going to do. Alien will miss his first attempt from short, but there's a line toward pillar now. Didn't want to push off the back of it, and there we go. Headshot hit, but I think maybe now the 10 HP factor might force him into the idea of saving once again. But Krad's going to give up his life and the bomb towards short, and I don't think Alien will be actually allowed to save this, and definitely not, because that Molotov's going to finish him off. Alien's just running ahead thinking, okay, I can run away here. Oh, never mind. I'm walking in a very fiery pit.
It's an awkward one. I'm surprised they didn't put a flash down before moving through as well after putting the smoke in towards the bathroom, because what that really does is obviously if there's an up on that angle, sure, they'll be blocked off, but if anyone's forward, if you get that flash in, you're just going to stop them from having any sort of support that leaves them caught out in the open then. So it seemed like just a small part of the play was missing right there for Entropiq. And well, they're going to be putting all of the remaining economy into actually getting a buy here in this round, so there's a chance for Into the Breach to completely shatter that economy and really start getting something going for themselves here on this CT side. I think it would be even more impressive if they managed to pull this off from a position where they were down 5-0 initially.
And we're going for a faster play now for Entropiq. Straight through Monster. It's against a full buy of ITB. Tadpole, it's a great flag actually, considering he's so very blind. But in the end, the fact that Dobbo goes down next means they know that Tadpole is still there. It's all down to Cypher in water. He's going to get swung on by Forrester here. Yeah, easy kill with no one watching bridge to cover for him. Adam will pick aggressively off the back of it to look for a kill, but he can easily get swung from 3 different positions right now. Water, sight, short. Yeah, it's a rough one. He's being held by Krad anyway. It's looking for a boost toward heaven, perhaps. They want to try and chase these saving players, and he's smart to do so, but Entropiq need to build up their own economy first, because they basically have nothing for this round. Big spray coming in, actually. Adam does get that kill toward Krad, but obviously now he has to get out of dodge. I think he should be okay to the bomb blast. He's way away now, so looks like 5 players will stay alive between these two teams as Entropiq take a 6-2 lead.
It's heartbreaking again, and similar to what we've seen a couple of times back on Ancient when they had the chance to get that break. They just seem to fall a little bit short of it, unfortunately. Still be able to scrape together a buy of their own, but you know, it's allowed for Entropiq at least to bolster up their own investment here a small bit. They've got a lot more nades and such even behind the weaponry. But they still haven't really built up too much money. There is still the opportunity there. Only Alien and Forrester have enough for an actual full investment in the bank. We'll see what can be done to the breach. I mean, it seems like the rounds where they've had most success has been the ones where they've taken the risks, and again, that is going to be the case. Isk moves forward of the smoke in on short. He actually has a teammate as well. That's Dobbo, who decides to continue playing around it. He doesn't get the kill, but he does some pretty serious damage on towards Krad, and eventually even manages to get the finish for himself. So that's again a 5-on-3 that's been taken in their favor. We've seen them get a position pretty similar to this a couple of times. They need to close it out right now.
Yeah. Oh, Adam actually manages to win that duel. Okay, so now 5v2 again. I think that's the 3rd 5v2 they've had actually overall. They've won 1, lost 1. I think now this AWP is going to be under a significant amount of pressure because Elian has to use the smoke to put out that Molotov as the tree position is exposed, and as he puts it out, Cypher swings, easy kill, and now a 5v1. Forrester 1v5 in this situation. Has a smoke, a couple of flashes, but I'm afraid this one will surely be beyond him. Checks all the angles thoroughly, but I think we know this is going to be an Into the Breach 3rd round. They have a long-range spray to deal with, but Cypher in the end does tap him down, and they do survive with all 5 players alive, so that is very, very good for the future of this CT side.
Especially when they could potentially do it again here in this round. Okay, I was going to say there's not really going to be anything to challenge them, but it does seem like Elian is willing to buy his AK up. I think that might be it, though. Yeah, just a hero rifle. He's got 950 in the bank, so he'll be able to pull something out coming into this next one at least to get to 1900 on the next round. So Elian would probably be on the Galil while everyone else should have what they need. I'm still not expecting too much. 3 or 4 players even surviving for Into the Breach, and they can be pretty happy with this one. And off the back of already an opening kill there for Isk, they can just fall back away. They recognize that it isn't full investment. actually Elian that they took out of play as well. So now they need to get that AK into the hands of one of the other players that actually have Kevlar.
Yeah, exactly. That's a big first pick to find. Lucky's the one who's picked up the AK, as you say, but they probably need to find Crad or Forrester to give that rifle the best chance possible. They're going to creep up a bit closer, though. Adam's actually holding a tight line toward Banana, and he won't be expecting two players on his right. Surely not. There's an AWP to help him, but he sees the smoke come over. Now he can deploy his incendiary with pretty good timing, actually. It does, and he can fall back toward the edge of truck, too, so gets the kill pretty comfortably. Now 3v5. Dobbo gets another one. They try and make their way toward B, but it's not going to work out. Forrester needs a big swing here to deal with Dobbo. He even has to take down Heaven at the same time to even think about a bomb plant. So that's not going to be happening.
Try and bring it on towards A. I mean, if Lackey gets an early enough kill here, then maybe there is a bit of hope. The op's actually back in towards the spawn. So if he takes out Adam cleanly, then maybe there's some hope for a bomb plant at least to go down, for the extra money to be found. And, well, he will get the initial trade. It's, of course, noted where the op's at right now. So if he can just go ahead and stick this bomb plant, that could be worthwhile. But it looks like he wants to see if he can actually win this one out, hoping to pull it down at least into the 2-on-1 before sticking that bomb plant. But really at that point right there, with all three players having been given the time to rotate up as well, I think it was either stick the bomb plant and just hope to get that extra cash or nothing.
Yeah, it was one or the other, as you say. And they're doing well into the breach right now. Of course, it was a pretty rough start for them, but they're starting to even up this game now. And they have a chance because Entropiq are once again, even though they've built up a pretty decent loss bonus, they continue with those pistols. And it's a bit dangerous to put the AWP in connector, but it is helped out. And oh my goodness, Isk, this guy, that was... Okay, I know it's against pistols, but that was the wildest repeak I think I've ever seen, and he's actually rewarded with the collateral. Unbelievable.
Jesus, alright. He's very efficient with his bullets, we'll give him that. He actually might even find himself the 4K. Not quite. No, he does actually manage to get himself the last kill in the end. Was it Adam that stole the ace?
He did, yeah.
So
yeah. Should just left him alone.
Slap him on the head right there.
Yeah. We're going to see the replay of this, actually. So here comes the first kill. The smoke's thrown in, and he's like, okay, I'm just going to move past it, and these two players in front of him. That is, yeah, that is... Wow. That is... exactly, it's not a reface you'd expect, and as you say, catching him on the jump as well. Maybe didn't expect it to be a full kill, but... comes through, and oh my goodness. Alien's on a glass cannon in this next round for Entropiq. And that grenade just took 88 points of health away from him. And Cypher just clean pushed Monster and dealt with Forrester. This is not textbook, but I have to say, it's working.
Yeah, they haven't held on to the control, but that was the only player that was around the B side of the map there as well for Entropiq. So kind of limited on control. You can see they even had to be cautious of connector. That leaves them open to Adam, who's waiting in behind that smoke in the toilets. And, oh, will he escape? No, that's the main question. No, he's not going to get away. Eventually finished off, not even by Lackey. It was Nickelback that catches him, making his way around the corner. So the numbers, while still in favor of Into the Breach, are not quite as firm as they were a moment ago. You do have Cypher, who's low on health. You have an op here in the hands of Isk. If he misses a shot, eventually he could be taken out, and it could be a 3-on-3. So you can see the opportunities, but the problem is Entropiq don't have a ton of time to find them.
No. 40 seconds to go. With Alien still incredibly squishy with no armor and just 12 HP, keeping him in the round. Probably be up to him to throw some of his utility before he goes down. Might as well deploy it before you might inevitably die and go into that next round. And especially Tadpole will just win that duel toward Lucky. This one makes this incredibly impossible now, I would say. Isk is lurking around this smoke as well. He just loves the smokes apparently with the AWP. He's going in between one and the other of the side of bathrooms. Back's looking for him, and he does take his head off, but with 8 seconds to go, bomb on his back, he can't even make his way toward the site yet, and now he realises it. He'll have to use the smoke to just hide his position and grab the AWP maps. Actually, he won't need it, of course, because Alien's still alive. Forgot about that, considering he's so low. But yeah, that's all they can do. 2-man save, and we have an even game at 6 each again.
Yeah, this is not quite how I was expecting things to go after Entropiq took a 5-0 start. But yeah, Into the Breach are keeping us on our toes. They're keeping Entropiq on their toes as well. Not being made easy by any means. Economy for both sides or rather for Entropiq especially looking rough, but you will see Into the Breach after their reinvestment here on Adam having a few players, or at least a couple players that don't have a ton of economy behind them. Is considering he's been reinvested into the op quite a bit, only has 3,000 in the bank, so you can see a round or two very quickly break them down. So it really comes down to this one rather. That's what they're attempting to do right now. Entropiq are aiming to hopefully take this one, get another off the back of it, and then come out with the 9 at the halftime, with the final of those rounds potentially being a little bit easier. But that's not going to be easy to do, and well, very quickly it could flip on its head and it could go the other way if Into the Breach can just take this one smoothly.
Absolutely. Oh, this is interesting. He's been very aggressive here on this portion of the map, hasn't he, so far? And he didn't necessarily need to do that on a round such as this, but Nickelback's hearing everything. He's hearing him fall back with that kill. Adam's like, okay, I've got my cheeky frag, I'm out of here. And he was the star on Ancient. He's also been the star on Overpass, thankfully, for Entropiq. Nickelback is able to blindside him, and I think, as you say, I think falling back a lot further was probably the port of call there.
I like how you can interpret my sounds.
I know. It was a sound of why would you do that? You know, that sort of sound. Oh, look at this boost towards short. This could be interesting if they push toward Monster right now.
Oh, damn. They still get away with one. Cypher actually even stays alive for now, but yeah, that boost I was going to say, you don't see it late in the round too often, especially when there's not a smoke down. You see it, as you see in rather, it can backfire. But honestly, 2 for 2 hasn't been too bad at all. It sets them up with both players in position before the bomb even goes down.
An interesting one. Alien once again, of course, can't rebuy armor, of course, because he saved on the T side, so he's once again on that glass cannon, and they're actually going to catch Forrester pushing towards CT solo. It's going to be down now to Alien with this glass cannon AWP. Planting default. Isk and Tadpole are going to just rush him down together, and this is the right way to play it, and he can't flick up quick enough. Isk just times it to perfection, jumps up with the CZ, of course. If there's one gun you don't want to face, if you've got no armor, that's probably a jumping CZ, to be honest. Always going to try and bait in your teammate, even if he does somehow get no-scoped up close. So he was safe either way. And look at this, as you say. Cypher just turns around, and the POV change caught us off guard a little bit there, but the fact he gets a couple of kills still is a remarkable recovery. He's basically won his team that round.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to wonder if Entropiq were maybe even expecting that, because they waited for the connector peak before they let the man outside Monster really start walking down the stairs as well. Even half a second earlier on that initial peak, and maybe the player on top gets a frag before they die as well, and suddenly the round spirals out of control even quicker for Entropiq. But Into the Breach were still able to make it work, of course. And with that now have themselves a bit of a lead, which I was not expecting to happen after, again, they went down 5-0. Entropiq are really hitting a brick wall here on this T side, and this might even be their last chance to build on top of it. If this one goes south, then it's going to be very difficult to really challenge in this following round with what would be a pretty weak buy, especially without a plant. Isk, though, he's getting aggressive, and I was going to say there was a couple players moving in close. We'd already seen a couple collaterals, so I was going to start building up some hope, but unfortunately he goes a bit too wide, and that Alien was waiting for the punish. It's a man advantage, and well, it's looking to be a pretty quick move on towards this A-bomb site.
Yeah, they're actually going to get bombarded by utility, is Lackey. I think that grenade smacked him right on the chest, and because of that, he's not out far enough. Dobbo gets the kill, but Crad, oh, he's still sticking around. 4v3. Entropiq actually left the situation they were in there toward long very, very quickly. They're going to repump the A site, perhaps, but Cypher, he's close bathroom still, and he gets a cheeky kill toward Crad, but he's not aware that there's more players in mid. He still thinks long is such a huge possibility because of all the presence shown. He'll get taken down by Forrester. 3v2 still intact for Entropiq. There's both players here, though. Tadpole and Dobbo both toward truck. Unfortunately, though, they both get destroyed at the same time. I think Forrester, I'm not sure how much it was showing of Dobbo there. The kill feed says it was through the smoke, but in the end, it won't matter because both kills were pretty easy. And it will be an even round. It was 8-7 on Ancient at half-time. It's going to be 8-7 on Overpass at half-time. But to which team?
Yeah, I mean, Into the Breach definitely would need it to feel really comfortable. No matter what, though, I think they'd be happy with the recovery that they've had on the CT side, but at least the one-round buffer in case the pistol goes south, I think is going to be needed and wanted. And yeah, with Cypher going really aggressive with a fantastic flashover from Dobbo as well, they do manage to catch Forrester. Strong opening, potentially another to come if they stick around fighting here through the door. The headshot angle from both players. Eventually, though, the nades go down and he had no bullets left. That is horrible timing. I'm not sure if he actually maybe had a couple and just went for the reload, but it looked like he tried to shoot and then it started the reload and he kind of just gave up on life at that point. It's going to be a 4-on-4. An awkward situation, but still one that could go easily either way.
That was a rough one. And as you say, it's not like it's a round ender for Into the Breach. I think they'd love an 8-7 again. Problem is, of course, is that Entropiq are insane on the CT side of this map, and it is a CT-sided map in general, so it most certainly keep them on the back foot. 4v4 still with 45 seconds to go. It's going for the duel, and this has been a fascinating fight actually between Ellian and Isk so far. Isk was doing great work on Ancient, and he's had some great frags on Overpass, but Ellian's had his number in the past couple of rounds. It's now down to Adam on the back of the site with 30 seconds to go. Nade's coming in. He knows exactly what's going on right now, but will Entropiq peek him? They do, and they hit the insta headshot. Crad gets away with it on 3 HP. That's most likely going to be an 8-7 for Entropiq, but of course the retake will be coming in, and they'll be giving it a go whatever happens.
Yeah, they have to no kit in play, just a single smoke as well. It's going to be so tough, and they might even have to use that just to get past this molly right now. Instead of waiting it out, as I said, with another molly now going down, they have to drop the smoke and hope they can emerge. And with that, catch a couple headshots. It's going to be 1 kill from Tadpole, but that's all they're able to find. Nickelback puts an end to it. It will be in the end Entropiq taking an 8-7, but again, considering they started it off 5-0, I think that Into the Breach can be relatively happy with how things went down. The question is now, can they keep that up on the second half, or is it going to be a bit reminiscent of what we had back on Ancient? Find out after the break, guys. Stick with us.
Till that final one. Nice shot toward Crad, and he's trying to take the second duel as well. Happy to keep committed to it, because Elian is still stuck toward balloons, to be fair, so they're trying to isolate him. Thing is, though, look where Nickelback's pushing. They are aware of this being a possibility. There were a couple of players actually pushing this one for Entropiq. Do they want to go through the door, though? That's the question. Isk is holding it. He pushes. They easily get the frag. I say easily get the frag. It's a little bit rough in the end because Isk actually doesn't have any Kevlar. He's the one buying up the utility in this round for Into the Breach. He's got the smoke on the Molotov, so it was almost a bit scary. But they do have a 5v3 now. Another pistol round could go in their favour here.
Definitely doable, but I mean, at least some good damage has been dished out by the players that went down there on the Entropiq side. So you can see Cypher and Isk within range, at least, of death. Going to be a pretty quick move on towards the A-bomb site now, and Elian at the moment is going to be alone, tapping heads. It's going to be 3 in a row that Elian finds. This is what we needed from him. He had a very quiet first map, and well, hasn't really been popping off as much as we expected here so far either. And he will eventually go down rather, with it still being in a 2-on-2. And Into the Breach again have swung it back in their favor. It's all on Forrester. This flank, it is going to be big as he catches Tadpole unaware and now has Isk pinned in behind Optimus. But he's not completely aware of it. 30 health, it's going to be a couple shots to the body that he needs. He spots him out up close and personal, and he finds it with just the one. And that's going to put Entropiq up 9-7 again. As I said, kind of reminiscent of all those clutch rounds that just about went their way back on Ancient.
Yeah, that was a remarkable round actually in the end. So much happened. We're going to see a bit of a replay of some of that. Here are the shots from Elian. Dirty from the back of the dice on the site. And this flash was absolutely almost the MVP of the round, sending in that jump in toward Truck. Tadpole helped out with that one, but unfortunately Isk was last alive. Very low. No armor. I think that call came through to Forrester that you could just tap him in the chest and it would probably be enough to take him down. He did just that. And it will be an Entropiq pistol round out of nowhere as well. What a hold that was from Elian, the king, once again.
That was nasty. Goes straight onto the M4 as well. Just wants to be secure here in the early rounds against whatever sort of force buy Into the Breach are throwing at them. And well, that's a good idea because we can see an AK, a couple Mac 10s, or a few Mac 10s even, and a Tech 9 on Tadpole. So definitely a dangerous buy, one that up close and personal can cause some issues. And well, that might be the case now. Crad's being pushed in towards bathrooms. The molly quickly extinguished, but it done enough to ensure he could isolate that initial fight. Comes out with 1 kill, does some pretty decent damage on top of it, and now that rifle at range starts to tap away. A little bit of help even from Nickelback. And Isk just never really got a chance to do anything with his AK.
That's a shame. Never really in the action, never really an opportunity to trade, which is exactly what we would want from the AK on a round such as this. Of course, bomb plant coming in means that force buy is so powerful, but it's also so powerful for Entropiq, the fact that they've beaten it, because they're going to be now set fair for the next few rounds coming up. ITBisk probably will have to save this AK. It'll be all they have in the next round. That and a Molotov, to be fair. And he obviously will probably drop that to a teammate, so he doesn't have to worry about that. And they're going to have nothing, I'm afraid. Tadpole is the only one with residual cash, actually. I've just noticed that. Look at that on the right-hand side of your screen. Nice new graphics we have for this season. And we've been rebranded to ESL Challenger League. Yeah, kind of nice. Of course, formerly ESA Premier, just a different format and a different name. And yeah, we get to see that 4 of those Into the Breach players have quite literally $0. So bankrupt would be an understatement.
Tadpole has 100 quid for all of them if he wants to share.
Would be enough for a couple of decoy grenades, maybe.
Yeah, unfortunately, ITBisk doesn't get any loss bonus, obviously, saving over his AK, but definitely a worthwhile trade that he gets to keep in comparison to what he would have actually gotten, just the 2,400. I don't think he's going to be complaining, but the issue is his teammates just can't really get anything behind that 1 AK now, so Entropiq are very likely going up 11-7 here before we really see any sort of a challenge again from Into the Breach. So it's a bit of a rough position, but I mean, I'm not going to count them down and out because we've seen the recovery that they were able to find back on the first half. Obviously, with the caveat of them being on the CT side, but you never really know what a team are going to bring. Okay. And, well, Krad's bringing some pretty decent nades.
Was that a 100 damage grenade?
Molly, I think, over the top Molly initially, so that might have done a tick or two.
I was going to say, because obviously no armor, that can happen, but I missed the Molotov to begin with. Cypher, okay, that boosts his telegraph. 350 tap comes in, and ITBisk still has the AK. He tries his best to fall away with that advantage, but Elian will put a stop to it. But Tadpole's still hitting headshots with the Deagle. Elian is still here, thankfully, for Entropiq, but somehow with basically nothing, Into the Breach have a chance in this round. 2v2. Cypher's picked up that AK. Of course, none of them have armor to go with that, like ITBisk had. Actually, he's being tagged down by Krad through the wood right now. I'm going to try and exit the situation. The bomber's always in T-spawn, or it's in T-steps. And they're going to recover that. 45 seconds to go. If they stick together, they might have a chance. Group up toward connector will be the idea. But of course, Entropiq can probably split up 1-1 and still be okay. An insane shot still needs to be hit for one of these 2 ITB players.
Okay. Not sure, I think he may have heard a step. Elian has this.
Oh no.
That's going to be the bomb, and it's just going to be the round done. There's nothing that can be really done by Cypher anymore. I don't think the bomb is going to be all that recoverable. Might just about be able to snatch it, but by the time he gets back to the bomb site, Krad's going to be waiting up in heaven, as you can see. It's a bit unfortunate, actually, with a FAMAS. Not the ideal position, but it doesn't matter. He readjusts after an initial shaky burst, we'll call it. Just about hangs on with 5 HP in the end. Doesn't matter, though. Entropiq, importantly, they win the round. They take an 11-7 lead. The guns are still going to be here for the scout, I think, on towards ITBisk, which is going to be somewhat limiting them. They don't really want to take Nico right now. They need to keep the pressure on.
Yeah. Elian using his M4 like his USP in the pistol around there. Literally 1 bullet to the head. Perfect stuff from him. Up to 18-9 in this game. He was very quiet on Ancient, apart from when the map reached its closing stages, and now he's back to the normal performances that we expect from him. Look back to a very good position here, very good position. Big flash coming in, going for a swing, but it's countered beautifully by Cypher. Unfortunately, there's more aggression coming with Krad's FAMAS. The cleanest spray this time. Elian is going to miss that shot with the AWP, but that was a very weird angle to flick to. It's like you could barely see him before he crossed his screen. That is one that you won't be practicing, that's for sure. So 3v4, ITB. They have the bomb picked up. They have the 3 guns they want. But unfortunately, barely any map control.
Literally none. They're all back in spawn right now, just about making their way outside Monster.
Wow. Not good with 50 seconds.
Ideal, but you can see they at least have their plan in mind. The 2 players up on A are pretty far forward as well, which means the rotations could be a little bit longer. It depends what way they go. If they just charge down connect, they're fast, then a flank could be an issue for Into the Breach even. At the moment, they're being held off by the smoke and the molly, leaving them with not much time at all as they start moving in towards the bomb site. Elian and Lackey are waiting He opts for initial contact. Actually, no, tucked in, letting Lackey go ahead and try for the initial player. It's not going to be landed. Instead, it's Elian around the pillar that's getting it all done. He's already gotten himself 2. And importantly, just tried to stay alive as long as he possibly could. Despite a decent effort from Dobbo to go ahead and find a couple heads, as he was shown time and time again back on Ancient. He just won't be able to get it done as that flank came in from behind on Monster. 12-7, again, into the breach are giving us close rounds. They're showing us that they're clearly a capable team. But against Entropiq, a number 10, top 10 team in the world, rather, it's just not enough, unfortunately.
Yeah, that dance around the pillar there from Elian was beautiful. Dobbo got 2 headshots once again. And that showed some of his first bullet accuracy that we saw on Ancient, to be fair. It was insane on map 1. But unfortunately, that was all in vain on this occasion. And we're just going to see a full Tech9 eco. The good old days. Tech9 B-Rush, and they're going to go for the grenade stack. Oh my goodness, that is glorious. Dobbo and Tadpole get 1 each. There's a chance now to push, but they haven't checked right side Monster. Bit of a nightmare. Thankfully, they still take him down. Adam's Tech9 gets that one, and with a rifle picked up on Adam now with the Kevlar as well. This is going to be a very difficult retake. That nade stack was glorious.
And despite them overlooking Lackey initially, he only got 1 kill from that position, so it looks like they still have a shot. Unfortunately, now Adam goes down. It's going to be Dobbo up close and the player in that smoke as well. They need to get this done with only the pistols. That actually did fall down, so a bit of breathing room, at least for a moment, given over to ITBisk, but the flash goes in. Both players' positions were confirmed, and you'd even see Crad was willing to go ahead and just believe that Elian would deal with the player in on the bomb site itself as he dealt with the man behind pillar. Good work again, a solid retake. They're never taking any of these rounds cleanly, so it's not like Entropiq are building a bank. But they keep just edging out all of these situations, and it's just not letting into the breach get anything going. They're always bouncing between a full buy and a half buy, and that doesn't really help you build up any sort of confidence. Yeah,
that's they would have felt so good about that nade stack being successful, and yeah, ooh, okay. What pick does Elian go for now? I'm going to forget my point and come back to it later. He's had a ridiculous run boost. Connector peek will be the way to go, and he actually manages to peek ahead of the Molotov, but unfortunately he's not given anything. It was almost one of the quickest peaks in history toward Connector, but not to be. But yeah, in that previous round, I said a little bit unfortunate. The grenade stack would have made them so excited with a chance, especially when they got a 3v2 after plant. But the fact Crad just crept up toward bridge so quickly. I mean, Adam had no idea that he was already to his, I think, left as he would have looked, hiding in water. So 13-7, they're just 3 away now, Entropiq, from taking the first win in the EU portion of ESL Challenger League. And as I said, one of the favourites of the group, probably, to finish it off very cleanly. Nice frag from Crad, but Cypher trades it, so 4v4 with Nickelback not full HP. There's still a hope in this one.
Yeah, definitely doable. I wouldn't count them out. Elian's going to look to take some initiative, I guess, realising that the 4-on-4 is in a comfortable position for him to be in. And oh, he spots the leg.
Oh,
1
wow.
health left for ITBisk. That is a fortunate one for him to just manage to survive it all right there. Maybe he can still have some impact a little bit on in the round here, but it's going to have to be the rifles that get most of the work done. And well, Elian, I think, feeling it. He's trying some random wall bangs. Was hoping someone was waiting behind that molly. Would have been crazy if there was. No, it's going to be instead a slower hit towards the bomb site.
You don't ever see that, a 99-1 with an AWP. Very rare indeed. We've seen a bit of a rare sighting on this best of 3, but the flashes are absolutely superb. They're so good, they're blinding themselves, and unfortunately that's going to be their undoing. Everyone was blind in that position basically, but also the fact there's a flank coming in, a fast flank at that, made that sight take basically impossible, I'm afraid, for ITB. But yeah, had a decent half, to be fair. I mean, I said it was an 8-7, but at the moment they're being outclassed, and yeah, it's a little bit rough, I'm afraid. They haven't, as the 1 HP kit. Oh, I mean, that's amazing. That wasn't actually a frag through the edge of bar from there. But they've yet to get around ITB on the T side, and they need to get 7 in a row now to even it up, so it's not looking too strong.
No, really not. Especially as Nickelback is just basically gifted the kill right there of ITBisk walking out of the smoke, not even looking at him. So no damage being outputted, and with that, Entropiq have a firm 5-on-4 in the early stages here. It's going to be a tough one for Into the Breach to start finding something back in. At the moment, they're pretty separated, leaving 2 players outside Monster. Only the 2 then that are able to actually probe around this A side of the map means that trades and such won't be available if they do find fights. So we'll have to see exactly how this plays out. It looks like Entropiq might even be considering maybe some aggression towards Monster, or at least have heavily stacked up outside of it. Lackey and Forrester here, but up close.
Looks like they wanted to maybe go for a double hold toward left side Monster. That can be something that can work out very well. But they're going to go for a boost, realising that ITB are not going to try that again. And the flash comes in actually to try and finish that frag off. But thankfully, he drops down toward water into the cubby as well. So he actually avoids all the headshots. And Cypher sticking the head off of Crad. So this one is by no means done. Dobbo behind that Molotov towards short. Nickelback rotated up to try and stop Cypher if he goes for a peek, and he is doing just that, and unfortunately that's all going to be stopped now. Elian gets one, Nickelback gets one, Lucky gets one, and Elian finishes it off. 15-7 for Entropiq. And in the end, that site take was a little bit one by one from ITB, but you know, you can't criticise them too much. They're up against one of the best teams in the world.
And that's what you've got to remember in all of these situations, and they're also on a map that they just aren't comfortable with from what it seems looking at the stats. We've seen on Ancient that they were able to give them obviously a much closer run for their money, and again, a round or two goes their way, they would have broken Entropiq and likely have taken the victory back on map 1, and then we would have been definitely praising them for doing so. Another strong opening though again in favour of Entropiq. It's going to be Elian who just peeks in towards middle. Looked like they were trying to focus a little bit more over towards that A side of the map here, and actually will manage to at least find success as they start to move their way up through Connect.
Something. But will it be anything by the end of it? As I said, not getting that NET rounds yet. I mentioned that will probably be where they fall by the wayside, and that could possibly be how this series ends. Forrester holding short pipe. Won't be seeing any legs because they're all going toward Monster right now. All three players. Lucky holding this off angle on the edge of the site once again. Lucky will get the information and just fall off of it right now. He has a right-click smoke to throw down to protect his position in water. It's been tagged down quite low. It's actually going for a bit of an A play here. He could be flanking the players on B, but they're sticking around. Nickelback's too aware of that being a possibility. Now ITB are very split up. They're very indecisive, and it's not working out for them. Lackey still on the back of the site, still being a nuisance. Very frustrating, must be. Face off against that, and unfortunately, just as that site smoke fades, that frag comes through, and it will be a 2-0 for Entropiq. That's the way to start your ESL Challenger League season.
Yeah, a bit more straightforward, you've got to say here for Entropiq on map number 2, but overall I'm still impressed by what we've seen from Into the Breach. And again, I think with the other two teams in their group having also